Hello everyone, welcome to Understanding Physics. It's me Sunita Mahajan. Today I am going to explain the basic foundation concepts for the 5th standard students. Some of you may feel strange or surprised. Is it possible learning physics, understanding, and studying for them? Yeah, it's possible. I'll make clear all of your doubts. The students are learning, means the children are learning from childhood onwards maths, mental ability, and science. And physics also is one of the branch of science only, which deals about nature of matter and energy, and which deals about the nature of laws, the nature and its laws. So, like these, we are going to study the basic things. So now, have you observed any time we come across a number of wonderful and interesting facts and events in our daily life? And let us discuss some of the examples now. What are the facts are there? The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Flowers have beautiful colors. When you rub your both your hands, it becomes warm. And whenever you throw anything from a certain height, it falls on the earth. And solids have different shape and size, but liquids are not having definite shape and size. What is the reason why it is like that, how it happens? All these doubts will be getting raised in our mind. So for knowing all these things, if you learn physics, you will get a lot of clarity. So now let me discuss about the science. Why means this, especially this physics comes under science only. So first of all, we should know the meaning of science. Science, it is derived from the Latin word sir. That Latin word is sir, means to know. What is the meaning of sir? To know. Okay. Whatever the knowledge gained by the man by careful observation and experiments, that one will be calling it as science. And whatever the systematic and formulated knowledge observed by the man that can be examined, tested, and verified, will be saying it as a science. So these are the common things you should know when you are studying about science or physics. Okay, now coming for the word phenomenon. What is mean by phenomenon? Any event which is happening around us, will be saying it as a phenomenon. Hundreds of phenomenons, natural phenomenons will be daily we can able to see in our surroundings. Have you observed any time when you throw any body vertically upside, it returns back and it bounces, and later it decreases its speed, and at last it comes to rest. Why it is happening? How it is happening? This is also one type of natural phenomenon only. So when you suppose when you take a piece of wood, it will catches fire. But when you take a piece of stone, it will not catch fire. What is the reason? The reason is it will be depending upon the nature of the matter and energy. So nature of the matter and energy will be the will make that wood to burn and will make the stone to become hot. So these are the reasons, like these simple reasons will be there. You'll be learning. Okay, now coming for science. Just now I said that it is one of the branch of science. So this science is broadly divided into two types. One is physical science and another one is natural science. Okay, what is physical science? Whenever you are going to study about the non-living things, we'll be saying it as a physical science. So just I'm mentioning here study of non-living things. Okay. Now coming for natural science. Whenever we are going to study about the living things, we'll be saying it as a natural science. Okay. Now again, this physical science, it is divided into two types. That is one as physics and another one as chemistry. Just now I said for you, physics means the study of matter and energy, or the study of nature and its laws. Study of matter and energy. Okay, now coming for chemistry, whenever you are going to study about the composition of matter, we'll be saying it as a chemistry. Study of composition of matter. Okay, now coming for natural science. This natural science, it is especially meant for study of living things. So here, this natural science is broadly divided into two types. That is botany and zoology. Okay, what botany? Whenever you are going to study about the plants, we'll be saying that one as a botany. And whenever you are going to study about animals, we'll be saying it as a zoology. Study of plants. This is a study of animals. Yeah, this is my introduction class. In the next classes, we'll be studying about the different topics. In the topics, you will be learning the conceptual matter, the conceptual matter about that concept, and even that logical and numerical ability also you can able to learn in that one. Okay, now this is about the science. Okay, now once again repeat me. Let me repeat once again. The science, it is broadly divided into two types. One is physical science and another one is natural science. Physical science means study of non-living things, and natural science means study of living things. These non-living things, it is again broadly divided into physics and chemistry. Physics means study of matter and energy. Chemistry means study of composition of matter. Okay, study of living things. Again, it is broadly divided into two types. That is, one is botany and another one is zoology. Botany means what? Study of plants. Zoology means what? Study of animals. Okay. Now, let us discuss about physics. Actually, this physics, it taken from the Greek word. Physicos means natural. From which word it took? Greek word. So that Greek word is physicos, means natural. And in physics also we are having number of branches. Let me explain some of the branches for you. That is mechanics, sound, light, electricity, magnetism, modern physics, electronics, and kinematics, statics. Like this, many branches are there. Heat. So all these will comes under physics only. Okay, now how it is playing a major role in our life. Physics plays a major role in our life. So how it is plays a major role. Let us discuss about that one. It is useful, actually the various phenomenon, whatever is happening around us, it is completely based on the principles of physics only. So how it is based on the principles of physics, how it is useful in different aspects. Let us discuss. It will be using a lot in the scientific research. The that is microscope or telescope and other instruments, those are completely designed on the principles of physics only, that will be used in the labs for research. And coming for communication system, communication system in nowadays we are using cell phone, telephone, telegraph, that is internet. All these communication will make feel comfortable. And coming for entertainment, nowadays you're playing the music system, and TV, radio, whatever, all these entertainment is also completely based on physics only. So whatever the comforts we are getting, whatever the well-being of the society, it's completely based on physics only. Like this, it will be used in transport also. Nowadays, buses, trains, cars, and whatever aeroplanes, all these are completely designed on the principles of physics only. This made our life, the world, very smaller by reducing the time. So like this, it is having a lot of use in our daily life. Okay, now today's topic, what topic I'm going to explain for you today? I'm going to explain about measurement. Let me rub the board. Everyone will be having measurement means what? Just measuring the things only. But estimation is different, measuring is different. So often we will make guesses and we feel that that is only correct. But whenever in physics, especially in science labs also, if you want to do any experiment, you need some accurate measurements. So for that accurate measurements, this estimation and guessing, it will not at all work out. So at that time, you need proper measurements. So we are the physics. It's a basic concept. Without measurement, we cannot go for other topics. So the basic concept in physics is measurement. Let us know about measurement. Okay, measurement. Actually, what is measurement? Measurement, it is the comparison of an unknown quantity with the known standard quantity. We'll be saying it as a measurement. So you may get doubt, what is unknown quantity? What is known quantity? In that known standard quantity, what? So let me explain the simple example. Suppose I am having this marker. So this marker is an unknown quantity. I want to measure the length of the marker. So what I'll do? I'll take a scale, and by using the scale, I'll measure the length of the marker. So whatever the scale I'm using for measuring this marker, that is a known standard quantity. Means the values, whatever the scale on the scale, whatever the values mentioned on the scale, it will not at all change. This pen may be short or big, some pens may be short, some pens may be big, but the values which are there on the scale, it will be like that only. So that's why this, whatever this marker is there, it is an unknown quantity, and whatever the scale you are having, it is a known standard quantity. When you are comparing this unknown quantity with the known standard quantity, we'll be saying it as a measurement. So what is, and I'm going to write the definition of this measurement. Comparison of an unknown quantity with the known standard quantity is called measurement. Okay. Now let us discuss about the physical quantity. What is a physical quantity? A quantity that can be measured, we'll be saying it as a physical quantity. Before measuring this marker is a quantity. So after measuring this marker became a physical quantity. So just whenever you are taking around your surroundings, suppose I'm having a cell phone, before measuring the length and breadth of the cell phone, this is a quantity. So after measuring, what happens? It became a physical quantity. So whatever the things around us are there, whenever you are going to measure the things, will be saying it as a physical quantities. Before measuring, just it is a quantity. So that's why I'm mentioning here physical quantity. A quantity that can be measured is called a physical quantity. Is called a physical quantity. Okay, these physical quantities, these are two types. The first one is fundamental physical quantities, and the next one is derived physical quantities. Okay, now let me explain you about the fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities. What is fundamental physical quantities? In a simple manner, I won't explain you. Fundamental physical quantities. So in your childhood, whenever you join the school, first of all, they'll teach you the alphabets. Why they'll teach you the alphabets? When you want to frame any words or when you want to frame a sentence, you need to learn alphabets. So when you join the alphabets, it will become a word. When you join the word, it will become a sentence. In the same manner, in this physics also, whatever the fundamental physical quantities are there, that are like alphabets. So without this one, you cannot measure anything. You cannot measure the other quantities. So these fundamental physical quantities are those quantities which are completely independent on each other. Means they'll be not depending on other. Suppose the alphabet is there, will be depending on B. C will be depending on B, like that. Whatever these are there, it will be completely independent and will not at all depending on other quantities. Okay. Now, what are those physical quantities? Means just let me frame the table once again. physical quantity. So this is divided into two types. The first one is fundamental physical quantities. And the next one is derived physical quantities. What are fundamental physical quantities? The quantities which are independent and not depending on each other, will be saying it as a fundamental physical quantities. What are those means? Length, mass, and time. Okay, now coming for derived physical quantities. The quantities which are depending on fundamental physical quantities, will be saying that one as a derived physical quantities. Suppose volume, area, speed, etc. Suppose if you want volume, what is the formula for volume? Length into breadth into height. The length, breadth, and height are completely we can measure from the fundamental physical quantities. Now coming for area, suppose if you take a square or if you take a rectangle, the area of a square is side into side and the area of a rectangle is length into breadth. Whatever the length and breadth and side we have to take from this fundamental physical quantity only. Now coming for speed, what is the formula for speed? Distance by time. Distance traveled per unit time, will be saying it as a speed. Okay, now whatever the distance is there, that is one type of measurement of length only. And the time, here it is the basic physical quantity, that is fundamental physical quantity. So by using these fundamental physical quantities only, we can derive the measure these derived physical quantities. That's why derived physical quantities will be depending on other quantities, means that is fundamental physical quantities. Okay, now what are fundamental units and derived units? Let us discuss. Fundamental units and derived units. Fundamental units. Whatever the units we are writing for these fundamental physical quantities, we'll be saying it as a fundamental units. Whatever the units we are writing for these derived physical quantities, we'll be saying it as a derived units. Suppose whenever you are measuring the length, we can measure the length. Suppose if it is a smaller length, we can measure in centimeters. Suppose if it is a little bit bigger length, then you have to measure in meters. More bigger length means you have to measure in kilometers, like that. So whatever the units we are writing for these fundamental physical quantities, we'll be writing it as a fundamental units. Whatever the units we are writing for the derived physical quantities, we'll be saying it as a derived units. Okay. Thank you once again. Let us meet us in the next class.